Here we arrived at the T&O Fuller State Park in Memphis, Tennessee, where we will be spending a week while we attend a bridge tournament. This is the first trip for the Tiffin Allegro Bay, or the Royal Bagel as we call it. It's off to Graceland to visit with the King. Here we are at the Lisa Marie, which is one of 3 of Elvis Presley's planes. Let's take you inside and have a look. Here we are in the cockpit of the jet. And looking down into the plane off to the left are some of Elvis's clothing. And on the right side of the plane is a powder room. I've never seen a powder room like this in any of the planes I've traveled in. Here we are back at the dining area. I hope that Gatorade isn't from when Elvis used the plane. A sitting area for TV. And the bedroom for Elvis. And now we will take a quick look into the other jet that is sitting there, and you really couldn't go far, so you don't get to see much. And here we are standing out front of Graceland. A picture of the King. One of 3 chandeliers that are in the mansion, this one leading to the 2nd floor. This is the living room, which is the blue room now. Years ago, it was all in red. Here we have Minnie Mae's bedroom until she passed. The formal dining room. Next, we head off to the man's cave, where we have 3 television sets for the 3 broadcasting stations. Here is the pool room with a fabric ceiling and walls. The famous jungle room. The red couch from when the living room was red. The outdoor pool in the backyard, and Elvis's racquetball court that he built. Here we have the grave sites of Elvis, his mother Gladys, his father Vernon, and his grandmother, Minnie Mae. We are at Elvis's car collection with his pink Cadillac and his black and white Rolls Royce. I'll take the black one. And we have a Lincoln Continental. Elvis's taking care of business ring. We have John holding it. And of course me holding it. I'm starting to feel like Mickey Mouse with the white gloves. And here is some of Elvis's other jewelry. There's a picture of the original house. Everybody told us to go visit the Bass Pro Shop, so we did. It used to be a sports arena. It has a glass-floored observation deck, which takes a little to get out on. But I eventually was able to do it by looking straight ahead and just walking. And then there are a few houses I wouldn't want to be living in with the Mississippi so high. They also had a restaurant on the top floor with fish made out of spare metal parts, which was quite interesting. And then, of course, they had the real fish down below.
From the rooftop down to the lobby and back again. My name is Doug and I'm the Duck Master. I'm going to march them for you. But first, let me take you on a journey. It is said that the Delta begins right here in the lobby of the Peabody Hotel in Memphis, Tennessee, and it ends on Catfish Row in Vicksburg, Mississippi. They also say that this Peabody Hotel has 13 stories in it. That's not true. It has thousands of stories. Stories of visiting presidents consecutive, from Harry S. Truman to George W. Bush, of diplomats and dignitaries and monarchs. Stories of the big bands of the 30s and 40s, broadcasting live from the historic Skyway Ballroom up on the rooftop, and stories of the king of rock and roll. But also of anniversaries celebrated and reunions visited, and to it all, the Peabody Ducks have marched from the rooftop down to the lobby and back, and in so doing, they've woven the fabric which contains the names and the faces and the events that are the history of this hotel. It all started back in 1869 when Colonel Robert Brinkley realized his dream by opening a state-of-the-art hotel just 2 blocks from here in Lowell, Maine, called the Brinkley House, which set the tone for cuisine and luxury in the South. Unfortunately, the Colonel's good friend and investor, Mr. George Peabody, passed away over in London at the time that hotel opened, and they changed the name to Peabody again. It went along there some 55 years at that location, hosting such luminaries as Teddy Roosevelt and President McKinley. And then on September the 1st, 1925, the doors opened this beautiful expanded facility we stand in today at the cost of some $5 million in a couple of years of construction. That's not the whole history of the hotel. Not by a long shot, but if you get an opportunity, go up on the mezzanine level and check out our little room. If you go in there, you will see a collection of names and faces, souvenirs of decades past. My favorite is a framed memo from Mr. Gary Bell, managing partner of the hotel, to the executive chef who was trying to change the menu over in Chez Relief. And he told him, even though you have a French restaurant there better not be any duck on any menu of the Peabody. The tradition of ducks in the Peabody goes back a long way, back to 1933, when General Manager Frank Scott and Buddy Chip went on a cold duck into the chilly backwaters of Mississippi and Arkansas. They knew it was going to be a cold day, so they took along another companion, just to encourage a certain Jack James. Otherwise, after all, it was going to be cold. They needed a little encouragement. But as the days wore on, perhaps they became a little over-encouraged. They began to feel it would be a funny idea to bring the live duck decoy, which were legal in Arkansas those days, back here and release them in town, and they did. Then they went off to their rooms to sleep it off. Well, the next morning, Mr. Scott was a little concerned about the native that might be caused due to his misdeed the night before. After all, he was the general manager, so he rushed down to the lobby and found 2 surprises. Number one, the ducks were still here. They hadn't flown off to see Beale Street or to search for Justin Timberlake or Al Green or Bruno Mars. And number 2, a group of tourists guests together. They were delighted by the frolicking ducks in the fountain of such a fine hotel. So of course they were given a couple of days reprieve, turned into an 85-year tradition. For in 1940, Edward Kimball started the hotel of the club. But he was a multi-talented individual. In another life, he'd been an animal trainer with Ringling Brothers Barton Bailey Circle. And he told management part of the performance school that I'll take 5 North American mallard ducks, 1 male and 4 females, consider these 3 English tall ducks you have here, and I'll train them to market from the rooftop towers across to the elevator, down to the lobby level, across the red carpet in the town. Every day at 11 o'clock and 5 o'clock, I'll marshal that. Management didn't know what to think about that. They rolled their eyes, they looked at each other, they said, oh, give that a shot, see what you can do. And for 15 years, Mr. Kimbrough got it done. From the rooftop down to the lobby. And in so doing, he became the ambassador of Kimbrough to the Peabody Hotel in the city of Memphis. And he appeared to extend to that the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. The Sesame Street program, where he and his ducks went to celebrate National Rubber Duck Day. They also did photos using people such as Sports Illustrated's Men's Community, where the ducks discreetly showed very little legs. Roger Kirkland and Mr. Kimbrough, I would say that I've mastered what I've done these years. Management thought so they bestowed upon Edward Kimbrough the title of Duck Master, the world's first duck master here at the Peabody Hotel. Well, he's no longer with us today. Mr. Kimbrough's spirit remains here in this lobby. And if you'll check out the Southwest Entrance community, there's a framed picture of his beloved ducks looking down at our ceremony today. Well, that would just about wrap it up, except for a duty and a privilege that I have to perform. From time to time, we encounter someone with such personality and such integrity and such people skills, as well as skills with the ducks, that we have to offer them an opportunity to come here and help us with our duties as a family. And today we have such a person. I want you to greet Mr. Elias Greenwald. But before anything can be official, we must have a proclamation. Everybody knows that. So here we go. Whereas the daily marches of world-famous Peabody Ducks is a time-honored tradition, begun in 1933 and attended by countless districts, whereas the care and the protection of the Peabody Ducks must be attended to on a daily basis, and can only fall to persons of high standard and great distinction, and whereas you are such a person, be it resolved that on March the 27th, 2019, Mr. Elias Greenwald has been chosen honorary duck master. Congratulations. In honor of this auspicious occasion, we have official Peabody rubber duckies. More importantly, so that Elias can help us do properly here. Now we have official Peabody duck master's paying for it. All right. We talked about the history of the hotel, the traditions of the ducks, and I've introduced to you my fine honorary duck masters. All that remains is to play that John Philip Sousa, King Cotton March and March outside 73, single file to the carpet, into the elevator and out to their palace on the rooftop. When the elevator door closes again in just a couple of minutes, you too will have been eyewitness to the world-famous march of the Peabody Ducks. Thank you, folks.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, and your attention, please. Welcome to the historic Peabody Hotel. At the center of the grand lobby, the point where the Mississippi Delta has been set to begin, stands the classic Peabody fountain, carved from one piece of the Titan travertine model. Although famous in its own right, the fountain is better known the world over because of its residents. If I may direct your attention to the fountain now, you will witness a tradition begun in the 1930s at the South Grand Hotel, an experience uniquely yours as a guest of the Peabody. Preparing to return to their penthouse on the plantation roof for the night, ladies and gentlemen, the march of the world-famous Peabody Ducks.
Okay, here we go. Very good. Outstanding, Ducko. Very good.
John went out one day and took a little walk around the trails by the campground and took some pictures of the pretty flowers. Here's a nice little ride to go on. You sit on and drink and pedal, and they drive around town. And then we dropped down to Beale Street and had dinner with a live band entertaining us. And walked back up the street at nighttime and eventually headed back to the campground. We also went and visited the Memphis Zoo and Aquarium. Animals were lazying around and not doing too much moving while we were there. Such big paws you have, kitty cat. This was the only bear we saw at the zoo. And here's a red panda working its way down the tree to go for a drink of water. Cute, fuzzy little animal. But you think they could put a water bowl in one of the perches so he wouldn't have to go all the way down to this yucky looking water to drink. Anybody want to play ball with me? If our hummingbirds get that big, I'm moving. Here we are down by the Mississippi, showing you how high the water level actually is. We were getting ready to go out on a paddle wheeler boat ride, and there's the paddle wheeler we will be riding. The paddle wheeler you see outside those windows is grounded on silt. And we're off on the Mississippi. Was not that much of an exciting ride. We went downstream a little bit, and then they had to fight the current like hell to come back upstream. So really didn't get to see that much. Before leaving Memphis, we stopped at Mud Island, which was a good stop. That is what the truck drivers call the Dolly Parton Bridge. And here we are on Mud Island. That bridge above is where you walk across. There's also a monorail that runs underneath. That bridge and monorail was used in the movie The Firm. This is a replica of the Mississippi River. It starts at the tributaries and goes all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico. As you walk it, there are various signs telling you about different parts, some of the cities along the way and everything. It is a scaled replica. And it goes all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico, which would be filled, and they would have paddle boats rentable. This is just showing you some of the debris that was washed up on the island when the Mississippi was a little higher. And I do not want that job of mowing. Went to Nashville and stayed at the Nashville KOA. They had checkers, chess, bowling, pool. We also then went out and did a Segway tour of Nashville for about 2 hours. It was quite a lot of fun. Went out by the arena and all that, along the river. And here we took a little break to rest our feet. And again, here John and I are on the Segways. On our way home, we stopped off and went to Mammoth Cave, which definitely lives up to its name. It's Mammoth. Here we are walking down with our 2 rangers, who are our tour guides, into the entrance of the cave. Here she turned the lights out in the cave, and it was only by candlelight, to show us what the miners used to do. This was fat man's agony and tall man's squeeze, or vice versa. But anyway, it was the shortest and narrowest part of the cave walk. It's also not easy to take pictures while you're trying to do the walk. And now we have to start climbing all these stairs to work our way back up to the entrance of the cave. And look, more stairs to go up, and then we get to walk uphill back to the parking lot. Although I walked up the hill to go back to the parking lot, John took a side trail and went for a little walk. You even have to wash your feet off before you go. I should say your shoes before you go, because of white nose bat syndrome. And right where that truck tire is where I caught the edge of the road, and we went down into the culvert and slid to a stop where we are now. That's me standing in the culvert, about 2 feet deep. At this point, we didn't think we were driving this vehicle home. They towed us out, And after securing the awning and a few other minor things, we drove it and got to drive it all the way home. And of course, this was the first and the last trip of the Royal Bagel.